Yo,
What up, though?
top of the morning to you.
Back at it. Another episode.
Yes, sir. I'm
Another
happy,
conversation.
excited. There.
Another one, and then another one.
DJ Khaled over there. That's a simple man, though.
That was
He ain't simple, boy.
that was Drake, but I'm gonna let you cook, bro.
They both ain't simple, bro.
I'm getting you too.
Boy, sheesh, how your boys living?
Shoot, no. How about you? How you?
Ooh, I'm living, boy.
Bro,
Let me
point
see.
it.
Hey, man, I'm at a 9. I'm at a 9 because, man, school's almost out. I got finals this week. But at the same time, I got finals this week, so I gotta grind up, man. I gotta grind out, finish strong, and then I can be at a 10 for the next month because I ain't got nothing to do.
Man, that's real.
Okay. 9 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10, man. I'm out here, guys. He doing his thing, and life's doing life, and I'm enjoying it. I'm learning each day, so I say 10 out of 10, man. Ain't nothing holding me back.
I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Oh, you feel a little bit
Because it's finals week. I got a linear algebra exam tomorrow, so not really excited for that. But I think, God's still good in the midst of that. And, God is being my wonderful counselor, as it says in Isaiah 9:6.
Prince of Peace.
So, yeah, my Prince of Peace for sure. So,
Linear algebra, you got
yeah.
that, what's that? LA what?
Bro, I'm doing gang signs over there. Bro, doing gang signs. Look in the comments.
Come on, linear algebra.
in the comments.
Come on, man, linear algebra.
What fraternity that?
That was in LA. He talking about fraternity. The Dodgers.
That might be a sorority.
in the comments.
I never seen no Dodgers like that.
Get happy, dog.
You know I get at them.
Anyways, listen, we got another conversation for you guys, and I want to encourage you guys to share this conversation. I also want to encourage you guys to comment as you're watching this episode, because the topic that we have today is dealing with the outer appearance. And essentially, I was thinking to myself, man, how many people are navigating in life and they're putting on like these masks because they want to portray an image so that they don't appear weak or vulnerable, right? And so, I thought about somebody who's probably going through a dark time in their period right now, man. And to the outside world, they're putting on like this happy mask, or this mask where it's like nothing's wrong in their life. And I wanted to simply approach this topic, a perspective of essentially saying, how can we see past the mask so that we can help people behind the mask? So my question to you, Joshua, is what has your experience been in noticing people that have been hiding behind those masks, and what advice could you give for them moving forward?
Man, I think some advice. I think what's been key for me, especially, is vulnerability. Especially with people that's in your inner circle, because you can portray that outer appearance to people that don't know you for real, but when you're around people that actually know you and know your character and know how you live, they know the real you. And so once you're actually vulnerable to tell people, okay, like, this is what I'm going through, they'll be able to help you with that. And like, I think one of the most important things that I've been able to do regarding this aspect is, come to God with my vulnerable self and not with that outer appearance, even no matter how, how much I may show that outer appearance to everybody else that's around me. But when I can come to God with that vulnerable self, man, it's a game changer for sure, bro.
Well, that's real, man. I think it's power in vulnerability, man.
100%.
And I think it's hard because so many people want to put on that mask because they're afraid of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I think, man, dude, it's really draining wearing a mask all along, man. So much time, man, you're wearing this mask, man. Don't you get tired of doing that? You get exhausted trying to put on this happy face, or trying to put on this image as if you're okay when you're really not. And I want to say to people, man, again, it's okay to not be okay, man. And listen, you can take off the mask because the mask lets us know that you need help, right? The mask lets you know, hey, man, we got to do some work with the doctor, and we got to help you get healed again, man. So my encouragement from my experience has been, having guys come around me and they've been able to see, hey, dude, you're looking kind of weak right now. What's going on? And they've been able to call me out when I've been trying to put on that facade. So I would say first thing that you should do is be real with yourself and how you're feeling, and identify a direction in where you want to go in, and then let people know, hey, man, like, I'm really struggling with this, or this has happened in my life. Could you come for me? Could you support me so that we can continue to make progress in this period of my life?
Something that we always do is we always get like what's the root problem here? So I was thinking here, like, okay, I'm putting on a mask. Especially now it's the holiday seasons, happy Christmas, all things. So people say, how you doing? Good, and probably, like, you're probably struggling. We're all on Christmas. People don't always have the best family time. We just had thanks, giving. People had some struggles there. But I was thinking, man, like, why do I have on this mask? Okay, so I have it on, but I gotta ask why. So I was thinking for me in my own life, I was thinking of all these years that I did have on said mask, and it was because I didn't know if they would accept me if I really shared who I actually was. And so someone says, "How are you doing?" You're like, you know what, man, I'm struggling with this and that. They'd be like, oh, he's different. But what I've actually learned in opening up and taking off this mask is that a lot of us have the same struggles. And so it's like, oh, me being vulnerable, just like he mentioned, and then you being vulnerable, maybe we actually have the same problems. Maybe we can actually help each other out, which has actually happened to me so many different times. Is that I was vulnerable because someone asked me how I actually was. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take off this mask and see how it is. And so I shared. They're like, no way, I've had that same struggle, but we both have on this mask, and so we don't know who each other are. But as you take off that mask, then you really see who each other are.
I think something that you said too was impactful. Is just like, you know, you ask somebody, a random person on the street, like, yo, how you doing? Like, what's the first answer you're most likely going to hear is, hey, I'm doing good, you know? And I think sometimes we say that, but we're really not good, you know, at the end of the day. And I think we say that because it's super easy to say that, right? And then with you saying like it's good, like it's comfortable, it's a good thing for you to lean back on. But we know that, you know, in uncomfortability, that's when growth is produced, you know? And so how can I accept healing, you know, if I'm not being vulnerable, if I'm staying in a comfortable state to where I know, you know, that's not gonna, you know, it's not helping me, you know, to be a better person or to have better character. When I'm actually vulnerable, you know, in that uncomfortable situation, you know, as hard as it is, I'm like, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling. That's when you find healing and you find advice and you just find the people that are really there for you, you know?
You know, you said this word comfort, and that really just resonated with me because I see people in today's, you know, world where they see other people and they live a certain lifestyle and they start to make other people's mask their identity. And I think that's tough because you see somebody who's wearing a mask as like a celebrity, and deep down people are like, oh, I want to be like that person. They start to put on this mask, but the whole time they don't know what that celebrity is going through, right? The celebrity are some of the most, you know, depressed and anxious and sad people because of what they have to go through on the daily. Some of these people, they can't even walk into a Target. They can't even walk into a Starbucks without, you know, being bombarded by paparazzi or people asking them for questions. But because we idolize the lives of people that are famous or the people that have a lot that we perceive, we start to take their mask and place it as our identity. Then in that solution or that situation is you have two people that are wearing masks that they were never really intended to wear in the first place. So I think we had to remove ourselves from that comfort of wearing other people's masks, take off our mask and be vulnerable with other people so that we don't put on masks that we were never intended to wear in the first place.
Something I was processing here is as we keep this mask on, it kind of forms into our face. And then as time passes, we kind of forget who we are. Because thinking of me, I was having on a mask for a set period of time for a couple of different months. And what had happened was I forgot who I was because every day I was wearing the same mask. What was crazy is that time wasn't even really that enjoyable. But from the outside, it looked enjoyable because I was hanging with certain girls. I was driving a certain car. I was having a bunch of cash. But it's like, it didn't actually fill me up. I didn't actually feel good. But the mask I was showing by the party, taking pictures, all that, and it looked cool. Other people wanted to be me. But it's like, bro, that's just a mask. Inside, I wasn't feeling good. And now I don't have on a mask, but I feel a whole lot better.
And bro, I think like it's harder to obtain or to hold that image of yourself because you're not even doing it for yourself at that point. You're doing it for the others, people's acceptance, other people's validation. And so when you can finally be like the real you, that's when it's like, okay, that's when the real people are going to start to come to me instead of me hanging around these people where I have this, you know, this fabricated image of myself. And then so I bring around fabricated people, you know, that only want me for that image. But then when it's time, when I'm down in the dumps and I show the vulnerable self, you know, where are these people going to be at? They're going to be like, yo, bro, that's not you. That's not you. But the whole time, that really is you. And that's really how you're feeling.
You know, something that you really said that was really impactful was, you know, having that mask kind of engrafted into your face. People wearing it over time and it just becomes their actual face.
Facts.
You know, it reminded me of something that happened this summer. I was part of a team and we had 3 girls and 3 guys on this team. And one night, the girls said, hey, we should put on these face masks and do like a facial cleanser, bro. And so we started to apply these masks on our face. And at first it felt kind of awkward because I'm like, I'm putting some on my face. But as time progressed, the mask started to dry on my face, and to the point where we started sitting down, and you only supposed to have the mask on for about 15 minutes, but we were having conversations, TV's in the background, and I forgot that I had the mask on my face. And the whole time I'm like, dang, my face is really getting dry right now. What's going on? And I'm like, bro, you still got the mask on, you gotta go wash it off. And so I feel like for us, man, a lot of people are still in that position where they forgot that they still have that mask on, and now it's dry, it's engrafted into their face, and they're living out that identity with that engrafted mask when they forgot, oh man, I gotta take this mask off. I think, man, for me, in my life, dude, I've been living a life, you know, even my life VC, where I had this mask on, man, and I didn't take the mask off for year after year after year until one day, man, I came to a conclusion where God was like, dude, I need you to take off this mask, bro. And the best thing about Jesus is that he doesn't want us to put on another mask. He wants to give us the mask that he designed us from the beginning of time, man, when he laid the dimensions of the earth. And he said that you are my son who I'm well pleased with. I have given you no mask, but you can actually live free in me. You don't have to wear the mask that the culture and society tells you, but you can actually put on my armor, my love, my truth, and walk out free.
Bro, I think something that's huge too is just like, you know, once you put on that mask also comes with a costume as well, you know?
The Grim Reaper.
So like, bro, when you got that mask, bro, and it comes with a costume, that also shows like, okay, this is who I am, this is who I'm trying to be, this is who I'm trying to be, and it affects other areas of your life instead of showing the real you, bro.
Bro, hey, I gotta say it every episode, who you hanging with. Because he said that if you're dapper kid, then you're also attracting those kind of people. And so I was processing that too. Something about this mask is everything that comes on eventually has to come off. You know what I'm saying? And so I heard this, I think it was Jay Shetty, you know, about big Jay Shetty, but he said something about putting on that mask is you have two options. Either you're gonna have to eventually take it off or tell someone that this isn't you know what I'm saying? And who you attract as you have it on might not enjoy you once the mask is off.
Exactly. Dog, you know, that's crazy because you talked about that costume that comes with the mask. And, you know, I thought about, you know, Party City or Halloween City, whatever you go to get costumes for Halloween, man. Each costume has different costs. So whatever costume that you decide to put on comes with that specific cost. And I think a lot of us, maybe we find ourselves in positions where we want, you know, a certain costume on to portray a certain image because we know the cost that it comes with. But I think sometimes people go and buy costumes and they don't weigh the cost. They don't count the cost that what it comes with. So they put themselves in positions where they're paying for the mask that they put on. They're paying for the costume that they put on when they weren't trying to do that. And that goes back into attracting the fabricated people, attracting the people with engrafted masks on their face. So my advice to you is, man, get out of Power City, man. Get out of Halloween City, bro. Stay far away. Take off the costume, take off the mask, man, and be free. Be vulnerable with your people and say, man, like, I've been wearing this mask, man, and actually, I don't know what it's like to take the mask off. I need help. I need to seek wise counsel. I need some godly counsel that's gonna help me see the way that God designed me and how I'm supposed to be instead of wearing a mask on for all of my life.
And I think like something that also comes with the mask, bro, is that, you know, actually it paints us in an image to where we're perfect, to where Jesus says, come as you are, you know? And we talked about it on an earlier episode when we said, you don't get in the shower clean. And so at the same time, I don't want to come to God perfect. I'm not going to come to God sinless. I'm a sinner regardless if I think I'm perfect or not. I'm a sinner regardless if I have that mask on or not. And so it's about, why would I put an image, you know, in front of me and God when God knows that's not real, you know?
I think you hit on a key point here of count the cost. You know what I'm saying? Because us being Christians, Jesus, says that we should count that cost as we're coming to Him. But even in having this some mass and counting the costs, I think of a car. You know what I'm saying? So certain cars are expensiver to keep in the best shape. You know what I'm saying? Cars are they're foreign, I guess, and all that. But it's like if somebody knew it was going to cost this and this, bro, they probably wouldn't buy it. Or they probably wouldn't want this thing. And so if somebody knew the cost of wanting people to think you're cool, well, you got to buy clothes that you might not like. You got to hang around people that you might not think, that you might not like. and do things that you might not like because you want them to like you. It's like, bro, count the cost.
Yeah.
But also, on the flip side, count the cost of being yourself without the mask on. What's the cost in that? Maybe the people won't be attracted to you in this sense or that sense, but you might be attracted to you because you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because we spoke about that a couple episodes back, bro. Once you know who you are, a lot of things are gonna affect you in a whole different sense because you know who you are.
Yeah.
That's real. I got a question for you because you're talking about being yourself.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, and if you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to have your input. Have you ever had a mask on in your life? Have you ever?
Don't say the way you gonna say.
But I just it should be cut either way.
Look at that. Why look at that? Because you know everything about me. I don't know what you're gonna ask me about.
Bro gave him the dog side.
I'm nothing looking at, bro.
I'm gonna ask you.
I got the question, bro.
I said, have you ever wore a mask yourself? And if so, if you're still wearing that mask, or if you took the mask off, how'd you get the mask off?
Yeah, so I did have on a mask, you know what I'm saying? And I had on a mask, I'll share why first, but I had on a mask because I didn't accept me. I want acceptance from other people, and inside that I wanted them to think I was cool and all this and all that. So I had to act like I was someone who other people are going to like, which wasn't actually me. And so I was buying things that I didn't like. I was saying things that I didn't like. I was being around people that I didn't like. And I was being me, but in a version that I didn't even like, you know what I'm saying? And so how I got that off, I think we spoke about a couple of episodes back, but is in understanding who you are. You know what I'm saying? All of you are built in Christ, in your mom's, what do you call it? In the womb or something? Bro, I'm not the doctor, but we're all formed inside that. You know what I'm saying? Like we are God's children. And so once I understood that, I was fine saying, yo, I'm an orphan kid from Africa. That's just the truth, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. People aren't attracted to a random orphan kid from Africa. But inside that, I was able to find out who I was, accept me, and now having this actual mask on, it's just been a game changer because I'm attracting a different crowd. And I'm able to help a different crowd because there's only certain kind of people can help these kind of people, and this person can help that person. And so because I was fine being who I am, I can share all the things that I've learned, you know what I'm saying? So I think a key to getting off that mask is understanding who you are, accepting you first, and allowing God to accept you, because he does. I think he said a couple episodes back again, but God's standing at that door, but he's a gentleman. So he ain't gonna come in unless you let him in. But when you let him in, the whole room's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Different people are coming in.
Cool, bro.
That's real. Something I wanted to say specifically to that. I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing that.
I know what he was gonna ask.
Nah, but I think there's power in like you said, being yourself.
In fact,
when you are yourself, you inspire others to be themselves as well, man. And I think that is something key that we all should implement in our lives, is being yourself. You know, I realized in the past year and a half, you know, there's more joy and I'm more fulfilled when I'm myself than rather me putting on this mask. And I've seen that when I'm able to encourage people, when I'm able to give compliments, people start feeling good about themselves. And now, if I encourage that person who's being themselves, guess what they're gonna do more? Be themselves. So if we can be ourselves and start inspiring others to be themselves, now we're gonna have a world that's crazy. It's a domino effect, and everybody's starting to be themselves, and the masks starting to get removed. Now we don't have to chase and look for acceptance. Now we understand who we are in Christ, and we can move forward like that.
Bro, I think one of my biggest struggles BC was putting on multiple masks, you know, for different groups of people. And so like you talked about celebrities, like they may have a lot of people, you know, around them, or a lot of people that they're affiliated with, but at the same time, they're putting on different masks for each group. And I think that was something that I struggled with. But as I got closer to God, I was able to, you know, take that off, because, you know, God like wants you to be you, you know? And so he even talks about, you know, in the Gospels about, you know, being yourself in the way that, you know, you should pray, you know? And I think he talks about, you know, how the Pharisees use like these large words, these large just words or whatever. And so God is like, dog, God is like, bro, me, you, bro, in the prayers, like be you. I want to have a relationship with you. If you want to have an intimate relationship with somebody, you can't come with a mask on. Like you have to be yourself, you know?
It's funny because you just brought up the story of he's talking with the Pharisees, and I think to one of the most notorious verses when he actually called out the Pharisees for having that outer appearance that wasn't their actual inner appearance, man. And so really, we got to talk about the mask, because the mask reveals where the heart actually is. Jesus talked to the Pharisees, he says, on the outside, you appear to be righteous, but on the inner, man, you're full of hypocrisy and wickedness, bro. So really, the mask that we wear reveals where our heart actually is. And so it's important that we take off the mask so that we don't actually have a heart that's pursuing the wrong things. I think in Jesus' case, he's convicting them because they proclaim to the world how much they love God, but they're far from him. They're saying, oh man, do all these righteous things. But inwardly, man, they know what they want, bro. They want that publicity, that gain, that status from the world, man. I think we also can find ourselves in that position where we're placing on these masks because we think that's what the world wants. And we think that's what's going to get the most attention, the most likes, the most, validation in different spaces. And like you said, you put on all these different masks in different settings. I was a guy who did that myself. That got me nowhere, man. That got me nowhere quickly. For like 19 years, I was putting all these masks on. And one thing about masks that I want to say is because I remember when I was a kid and I had this Incredible Hulk mask for Halloween, but dude, that thing was so hard to breathe in, man. It had no mouth opening on, and I had the eye sockets open, bro. So I was walking around trying to trick or treat, bro, but I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't even open my mouth and say trick or treat. A lot of times we put these masks on, we can't even breathe, man. We don't know what it's like to breathe because we're just suffocating. Maybe we're suffocating in our insecurity. Maybe we're suffocating in our fear of rejection. Maybe we're suffocating in just who we don't want to be or who we're trying to be. But man, you take out the mask, you can finally breathe the way that God has intended you to breathe. But if you got a mask on, it covers up your mouth, your vision's limited, your eyes are impaired. All these things affect yourself when you place the mask on.
That's so cold that you said that it's hard to breathe because we can't live, without breathing, Nice. And so like you said, if we put on this mask, it's hard for us to even live the lifestyle that God has made us, to live, bro. That's wild, bro.
I think we're suffocating because we're scared, I would say. You know what I'm saying? And we're scared that if we take off the mask, they see us again, maybe we aren't going to get accepted. I think that's something that we're also scared of. And I'm not just saying other people, I'm saying me too. And certainly back then having a mask. But we're scared of growing because we're comfortable being weak. And so we're not trying to get strong because we're comfortable not being strong. And I think and we speak about this all the time, but it's in being uncomfortable that we actually grow. And it's kind of ask why not what if or something, right? Yeah. But it's like why not be yourself instead of going all these years saying, bro, what if I was me in high school, bro? I probably had different friends. I would have probably given more confidence. I would probably encourage a lot more people that were actually them about them. But instead, I was busy helping people that were having on a mask. I was encouraging that because I had on a mask. And the thing that you are is the thing that you're encouraging in other people. Mm-hmm. So if you're a happy person, you're encouraging happiness. But if you're mean, hurt people, bro.
Ooh, boy.
That's real.
That's real. Because I'm thinking about, you talked about the fear and all of that, man. And I think of like, so much of the fear that we have in our lives is based off of what we see in the world. And so we put on a mask because we're afraid of being rejected. We put on this mask because we're afraid of what it actually looks like to be ourselves. And I actually want to connect to another story in the Bible when I'm thinking about Peter. Peter, and he's walking on the water. He sees Jesus, bro. What does he do? He takes his eyes off Jesus and he looks at the world around him and the wind and the waves, and he begins to drown. And I think when we take our eyes off of Jesus and we look at the world around us, we begin to suffocate. We begin to drown. We begin to forget why we were actually walking on the water in the first place. So it's important that, hey man, we don't look at what the world says, man, because all that does is produces fear. But we look at Jesus and keep our eyes on him, because no matter what the world says, we can remain walking towards him daily. And now he actually protects us from the lies of the enemy, the lies of the world. And now, guess what? I ain't suffocating. I'm actually breathing because I'm walking with him on the water.
Yeah.
Yo, also, I'm so sorry. I just got to say this one thing, bro. Shout out to Peter because he got out the boat, and that was scary. That's hard. If someone says, yo, come out, get us water and walk on it, man, you might drown. But he had that courage, even though it was scary to get out the boat. Yeah. But sorry, please.
No, you good. I think like you talked about the lies of the enemy. I think one of the biggest lies and tricks of the enemy, that we fall for, or that we believe, is you're the only one going through this. When God says we're all one body, we all suffer the same afflictions. That's why that's why the Bible says we should bear one another's burdens, right? And so when we fall into that lie of you're the only one going through this, it's harder for us to take our mask off because we don't want to share to everybody else, this is what I'm going through. And what does the enemy say? They won't understand. They're not going through this. that they don't know what it looks like. They don't know what it's like to be in your shoes. But whole time, I've ran into this plenty of times when I share some, out of vulnerability to somebody, and they be like, bro, I was going through that last week. Yeah. And I was like, oh, word? Like, how do I get, like, how do I get some advice on that? And they tell me the advice that I need, which is help me get out the valley, And so it's like, dog, if I, believe the lies of the enemy instead of knowing my identity in Christ and what God says about me, and I would still be stuck in that valley or be stuck, believing the lies and stuck with that mask on,
Yo, I also want to say for that too, because he hit it too. But as we're keeping this mask on, we are insulting both God, and we are insulting both the Creator and the creation. We're insulting the Creator because we're saying this face that you actually gave me, who I actually am, that's not cool. That's not good. So I'm gonna put on a mask, and then I'm gonna be what the world thinks I should be. We're also insulting the creation because we're saying you're not gonna like who I am, so I'm gonna try to be someone who you think I should be. You know what I'm saying? Well, the problem inside that is then we aren't really being our true selves, and people who are gonna need us won't actually get us. Someone who needs to be someone who's out there who has to hear, who needs help or assistance in their struggles of being an orphan, I guess, I can help them. But I can't help them that if I'm keeping on this it's a mask of, no, bro, I was born here, I'm this and that. Now it's like, hey, bro, I have these problems, these struggles. Now I can help them. You know what I'm saying? So we're robbing the Creator and the creation as we're holding ourselves back from the world.
I think that's tough, man, because I just thought about the word like gatekeeping, man, because we know what God says about us, yet we still put on this image as if we don't know this, or we portray this mask like, hey, God says I'm fearfully wonderfully made, but I don't believe that for myself, man. How many of us find ourselves in that position where we're believing the lies of the enemy, like you said, man? And I think ultimately, man, to your point, dude, we got to take off this mask because there's somebody down the line who needs us to take off the mask right now. If I don't take off the mask now, that person down the line is still going to have that mask on in themselves. But if I can tell them right now, hey, listen, I took off the mask and this is what happened. Yeah. Here's what you need to do. First, take off the mask. Now, two people being vulnerable, there's more opportunities for them to grow together. But if I'm not being vulnerable, if I keep my mask on, guess what? My mask on, and 10 people down the road, their mask is on because I wasn't able to be vulnerable. I wasn't able to share. I believe the lies of the enemies. Now they believe the lies of the enemies, man. It's a domino effect, bro.
No, and I'm so glad you said domino effect, and then also touching on others, because once somebody is able to see us with our mask off, whatever our insecurities, our scars, that's on us, that can they look at other people and be like, dang, they're embracing that. Why can't that be me too? And so it's a chain reaction. So if one sees you do it, then they'll do it too. And then there'll be another person seeing you. So it's a whole chain reaction. So it's just like, embrace who God has made you to be and understand the way that God wants you to live. He wants you to breathe. He wants you to have life. If you have these masks on, you cannot live because you won't be able to breathe.
Bro, my last thing is something that has just made this year as it's coming to an end. What's made this year so awesome, bro, is being comfortable in who I am, not hiding that mask, bro, just being truly who I am. And if they don't accept me or like me, bro, so be it. God does, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I was made this way for a reason. Each person is made how they are for a reason, bro. Embrace that. It will free you, bro. That thing is life change. That thing is freeing, bro. Yeah, changed my life, changed my year, changed who I was hanging around.
Bro, and I also got to see the benefits of a large amount of people taking a mask off, bro, because I went to a camp this summer, bro, when it was all just college athletes, man. And we were just talking about what it's like to be a college athlete, especially living as a Christian, man. And you got to see, people just share, how some people have performance anxiety. Some people have, issues with their coaches and stuff like that. All this vulnerability, but other people are around like, hey, I go through that too. So now you get to see so many friendships and so many bonds grow because of someone's taking their mask off. And it causes that person that wants to bond with them to take their mask off as well and be vulnerable with them. And it was just a powerful experience because you really get to see, man, when everybody is their true self, we're only able to look at God the way that we should view him, but we're able to look at ourselves the way that God views us, bro.
Wild. That's so tough because I wanted to say, this thing in regards to both of your points, man. because you talking about being yourself.
Yeah.
I would actually say, man, be who God has called you to be. Because if God's the manufacturer, he knows how you're operating. He knows how you're supposed to function. A lot of us are driving like our regular American cars, trying to put premium fuel into our cars. And then we wonder why we break down. But the premium fuel was never meant to go inside the American car. And so you drive on that and you try to be something that you're not. It ends up to where you're malfunctioning. You have all these problems that you don't know where it's surfaced. The check engine light, bro. Really, we gotta check the engine light. You gotta have the check God light on, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta be vulnerable with each other and say, hey, listen, hey, this is what's going on in my life, God, and I need your help. But the fact that you and the community believers and at the conversation we're able to be vulnerable with each other, now everybody's breathing together. They're not suffocating. They don't have to put that premium engine oil in. Nah, they use the regular octane, bro. And guess what? Ain't no malfunction because you guys are all functioning the way that the manufacturer intended for you guys to be. But a car that's not acting the way that it's supposed to be in the manual, it's going to malfunction, bro.
That's so cold that you brought that up. You brought up that analogy because look, if you take up something that's you take that car, that messed up car, to the mechanic or the manufacturer, bro, and they say start it up, they're gonna know exactly what's wrong with it. No matter what you try to say is wrong with it, they're gonna know exactly what's wrong with it, bro. So if you say, man, I might need to replace a couple spark plugs, this dude might say, nah, bro, you need a whole new engine, fam. Like, you never know. So it's like, you can't come to God with a mask on. He's not going to come to you with a mask on. He needs you to be your vulnerable self so that you be able to get the help and the healing you need. See, it's like, it's a lot of people out here like, man, like, you know, why am I getting this healing? Why am I attracting this amount of people in my life? You know, I don't want these people in my life, you know, but where are you? You still have that mask on, which attracting those type of people. And you still have that mask on, which is keeping that separation between you and God, bro.
And I think that's real. Cause I'm gonna say one more thing, bro. But dude, cause you're talking about going to God and getting like what's wrong with bro?
I ain't even had Spike that story today, man.
Count it. But no, for real, I wanted to say, like, you know, if we're going to God, he gives us the right diagnosis. But it's also important that we go to the right counselor in our lives, because a lot of times, man, we're going to different manufacturers and they're giving us bad advice. You talk about going to spark plugs, and somebody's telling you to get spark plug fixed when you actually need to get your brakes done. Guess what that's going to do? It's going to prolong the growth that you're going to have, bro. But if you're able to go to the right person, the right counselor that's able to push you in the direction that's going to get you where you need to be, now that's better for you breathing wise, bro. But guess what? A car that gets the wrong diagnosis, what's going to be doing? Pouting, bro. It's gonna be pouting, bro. Malfunctioning. Get the right advice. Go to God, man. Because if I'm going to people who want to spread lies to me, bro,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be living a lie, dog.
Car gonna start coughing. Can't be coughing in that mask, bro. That's bad news.
Oh, that's the vid. Take the mask off. Catch you next week.
That's a new strand, bro. End it, bro. End it.
Dude.